guys, so this is going to be a very short video for my bigger kids because you shouldn't really need to watch me color the whole time. Hopefully at this point you have picked up a lot of the different techniques. I'll show you just a little bit to get you started, and then you're going to get to pick whichever type of colors you would like to use. So if you want to use colored pencils, which is what I'm mostly using, you can use crowns, or you can use markers, or if you have paint and watercolors and things like that at home, you could use those. What else? If you're going to paint, be very, very careful about the type of paper that you have. If you used lined paper, please don't try and paint onto lined paper because it won't be able to really handle it. It's too thin. It's very, very, it's not sturdy. So make sure that if you would like to start painting at home, that you are hopefully getting a better quality paper. Construction paper works just fine so long as you don't use a lot of paint or a lot of watercolor. But lined paper definitely won't work. You can also get thicker papers like actual watercolor paper if your parents can pick that up at like Walmart, or I think the Dollar Tree might have watercolor paper as well, but I know they have construction paper. So anyways, back to our assignment. I have already started coloring this. I wrote "Don't Eat Me" inside. I have been blending or mixing my colors. I really love using colored pencils because you can make your own colors, adding variety, adding different colors, and you can put in shadows with some darker colors to make some areas look a bit darker too. So that's one of my favorite things to use. So when I started this, I actually colored the whole turkey, his skin, all the way around down to here, just a brown, or I'm sorry, I started with orange, and then I put in brown as well. So I mixed in the brown, and it does give you more of a warm, nice kind of brown shade. So I really like mixing those colors because when you use the brown, at least this one, I don't know, what is this, Crayola? Nope, it's Prong. So this one is a really dark brown, and I wanted it to be a little warmer, a little more orange, so that's why I added that in. So it'll give you a much prettier color. But just see if you can add variety, that you can try mixing again with your colored pencils. If all you have is crayons, you can still do this with crayons. You just need to make sure you're pressing very lightly because the crown is made of wax a lot more than our colored pencils are. So you have to be very careful when you're trying to add more and more. So anyways, all I'm going to do when I color this, I like to use my finger usually to keep myself inside the line. So you could put your finger over here, or under here is where I like to go, and then I just go right up and down. Now, yes, I have been coloring and drawing a lot longer than all of you, so it's not about being as good as Miss Mobley. It is about learning and improving. So if you see my work and you're just getting overwhelmed or disheartened because you just don't think that it's ever going to be as good as me, well, just remember that I've been drawing probably longer than you've been alive. So it's okay that I'm better, and I should be better. I'm your teacher. If I wasn't better, that would be pretty embarrassing for Miss Mobley. So don't worry about being perfect. Worry about learning. So just take your time and do your best, like I always tell you, staying inside the lines. And I can tell, because I'm a teacher, if you are getting better and you're learning, versus if you're being lazy or you're rushing, you're not taking your time, or you're not following the directions or the rules. So it is very, very obvious to Miss Mobley when you are not listening and you're not trying, and especially when you're not watching these videos. So thank you for those of you that are watching my video right now. I really appreciate it because I make these for you guys. So it makes me really happy when I can tell that you are watching them. So as you can tell, I'm going pretty fast, but this is just because it is my first layer. So when I'm talking about layers, I like to think of it as a cake. And if you really like icing on a cake, you want to put more and more and more on. So you want to pile on more on top of it. So now that I have my first brown layer down, I don't think it's as pretty as it could be, so I'm going to mix in another color. So let's get our yellow out. And we're going to go right over the top, and it will make it a little more yellow. Do you see how that's different now? So that is the variety that I'm talking about, just mixing in another color. Now, if you look at this and you go, that's too yellow. I don't think my turkey needs to be that yellow. You can just get another brown. This is actually a brown as well, but it's a different brand, a different type of colored pencil. Or you could just go back over it with the brown that we already used. I'm going to try this one, see what it looks like if I put in a little bit of this. This is more of an orange brown, or a brown orange. I like how that's looking. If you don't have this color, you could just go over the top with orange. So just mixing colors, doing your best, taking your time. Again, I'm not going to take forever showing you, making you watch me color. That's not what this video is about. So just make sure that you are taking your time. We've talked a lot about coloring with different things. Now with mine, I was thinking about just using colored pencils, but then I got to thinking about using marker for the ends of my feathers here, because usually with an animal that has colors on their wings, they're going to have those really bright, vibrant colors because it's supposed to attract people's attention and attract other animals. So I was thinking we could use some markers because it doesn't get much more vibrant than the ink that you have in a marker. Now, one of the sad things about this is we won't be able to really mix them because mixing with markers will ruin your markers. So I usually like to use these colors or just these three. I'm not sure. The only reason I'm hesitant to use red and green together is because I don't want it to start looking like Christmas. So, I'll have to think about that. So I'm going to go ahead and start with orange. And when we are using orange, or when we're using markers, you just use the side and go up and down, just like going once. You don't want to go up and down over the top of it again and again and again, because it'll start to get a little too soggy, a little too, it'll tear your paper basically. So I think I will go ahead and use some red here. Maybe if we put the purple in between the green and red, it'll come out okay. Now I'm going to use some purple. And then some green. And without even meaning to, we are doing something else in art that is called a pattern, because we are repeating we're repeating colors. So we're back at our orange, and I'll just go around using a marker for the tops of all of my feathers. So again, just take your time, do your best. If you did the turkey where his mouth opens, like the one I'm working on right now, awesome. If not, you hopefully did the cartoon turkey. I'm going to show you that one as soon as I'm done with this green. Alright, so we're going to stop there on this one. You just need to make sure that you get it all colored, and again, send a picture to me. If you decided to do a cartoon turkey, here I am at the stage that I was telling you earlier where I colored the whole thing orange. And he looks kind of crazy right now, a little ridiculous, but that's okay because we're going to go in with our brown and we're going to go right over the top, pressing lightly. I like to tell people about the Goldilocks and the Three Bears story. I don't know if everybody has heard that one. It's kind of an older fairy tale. But Goldilocks wanted to eat the porridge, and she didn't want it too hot. She didn't want it too cold. She wanted it just right. And then it was the same with the beds. She didn't want a bed that was too hard. She didn't want a bed that was too soft. She wanted it just right. And that's the same with how hard you need to press with your colored pencils, and probably with your crayons as well if you decide to use them. You don't want to press too hard, but you don't want to press so soft that you don't get any color down. You have to press just right. And if you don't press just right, just go right back over it. So it's always better to go too light instead of pressing too hard, because you can't really undo pressing too hard, but you can add more if you press too lightly. So again, just going up and down. I'm using my finger right here to block off the end, which is helping me go a little bit faster, because I don't have to worry about going outside of the lines here, because that finger is like, you shall not pass. If you haven't figured it out yet, Miss Mobley's kind of a nerd. But that's okay. All right, and then we're just going to go over our feathers back here. And I'm sure you probably noticed, I turned the paper just a little bit, because when I'm coloring, I like to go up and down, because it's just easier for me, for my hand to go like that direction, up and down, than it is left and right. But some people like to go left and right. So if you're one of those people instead, just turn your paper the other direction. A lot of people forget that they can turn their paper. But again, you're here to learn. So don't be embarrassed if you are one of those people. I remember when I was in school, I always wanted everything to be perfect. And it's not about being perfect, it's about learning and getting better and better. One of the things that is awesome about art, but also is kind of stinky about art, is that you will always, always, always learn. You're always going to get better. You can always get better at art. But the stinky side of that is you might not ever feel like you're done. Especially if you're a perfectionist. It's hard to be an artist if you're a perfectionist, because you just want it to be completely perfect, and it never feels like it's going to be. So we got all of this, and hopefully you can tell now the difference adding that brown in is doing, like the difference here from the orange to the orange and brown. I really love how this color comes out when you mix it with orange and brown, because it does give it, I don't know, it looks more like a turkey kind of brown to me. But if you want your turkey to be a really dark brown, you could just use brown. You could use red and brown. See how that works. You could use red, brown, and orange. Lots of different things you could use. Now with this turkey, I am actually going to color all of it with colored pencil, and I think I'm going to use marker for the background. So I've seen a lot of people that have been turning in cartoon turkeys, and they have nothing in their background. So you have two choices. You can either do these diagonal lines like I did in the background, just diagonal lines crossing. Just remember, do not put like 50 billion of them, or you're going to end up with like a trillion different teeny tiny shapes. So make them kind of big so it'll be easier to color. So once again, Miss Mobley's 2 big art rules: draw big, draw lightly. So that would be the first one, draw big. So I'm going to use marker to color those in, and it shouldn't take that long because I made those shapes big. So that was your first choice. You could put those diagonal lines crisscrossing in the background, or you could have drawn a actual background. So is your turkey on a farm? Is he hiding under your bed? I've seen some where they have their turkey running out the house, and you see this little chat bubble that says, hey, where did our turkey go? And he's just running away. So lots of different things that you could have done with a background like that. Either way, it does need to have a background. I do not want just this empty void, or like your turkey can't be in a big old blizzard, and he can't be just floating off in space. So make sure that you draw something back there. So when I'm done with my turkey, I'm just going to go in with my markers in the background, one stroke at a time, filling in all of these diagonal shapes, these triangles that I have. All right, well, I said this video wasn't going to be long, and it still got to about 15 minutes, so I think I'm going to go ahead and stop there. That should be more than enough to get you guys going and started. Again, you can use colored pencils, crayons, markers, or all three if you wanted to. So long as you're taking your time and you're doing your best and you're making your art look beautiful. Remember, you have to send me a picture of your art. You can't just send me a message saying you're done, because I can't tell. So I have to see your art so I can give you a grade, and I still am missing lots of work from people. So if you are one of those people that is still missing a bunch of work, please try to get it done quickly and send me a picture either in Schoology or Class Dojo so I can get you a good grade, because I don't want to have to give tons of bad grades out. So take your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video.